When are you expecting to hear any news about this hearing?
Yeah, thanks for having me. First and foremost, I think we're anticipating to hear. It's been suggested it might be up to 7 to 10 days after today's hearing.
Golly, and when was the last time you were able to communicate with your parents?
So the most of the communication has been done via the embassy and the consular visits. The last one of those was around sort of 4 weeks ago now. But I haven't actually spoken to my mum for a couple of months, and before that was 6 months. So yeah, we've only had one official call with my mum or Craig.
My goodness. How are they doing?
There's concerns. I think mentally they're coping and surviving and using whatever techniques possible to get through this time. But it's more the body and health wise that we're concerned. There's been reports that Craig is sort of constantly ill with multiple rounds of stomach bugs and flu, dental problems. And a very concerning thing that we've read and been told is that my mum was on a drip last week, but we don't know what that was for or why. So it causes grave concern. I mean, as I say, the mental fortitude sounds like it's there, but it's how much the body can endure in the conditions that they're in.
Yeah, the conditions, from what I've heard you say before, pretty testing. Are they still being kept separately?
Yes, so yeah, Mum's in Carchack, and Craig's in Evan, and you're absolutely spot on. Testing is definitely the word. They're in inhumane conditions, which has been reported quite widely before, which is why it's really imperative now that with these consular visits that are being arranged for October, that they're both seen with some urgency by a medical professional ahead of that date.
What were they doing in Iran?
So it essentially passing through and traveling around the world. So it started in Europe, in Iran, sort of experiencing the cultures, the architecture. They couldn't be more complimentary of the country and the people when passing through. And as I say, they were there for a very short amount of time, 4 days in total. It was supposed to be, and they would have continued on their journey. So, as I say, sort of communicating with the people of Iran and other countries and finding out what different cultures there are along the way to Australia.
Were they aware of the risks of travelling through Iran?
I mean, the risks were made aware to them. Yeah, I don't quite think that the situation they're in, but hindsight's always better than foresight in these situations. And yeah, we know that there's been people from other nations that have passed freely for a longer period of times since they've been detained. So, as I say, they're innocent of any wrongdoing, and that's why we're urgently working to get them home as soon as possible.
Yeah, we've seen the difficulties in securing release of British nationals in the past, haven't we? The length of time that Nazanin Zaghari Ratcliffe was held. There's a new Foreign Secretary now. What has the communication link been like between the Foreign Office and you, the consulate?
The communication for the people that we've been engaging with, I can't fault it. They're very responsive and they give updates from what happens on the ground in Iran, but the communication is very fractured. It has to go through various different avenues when in Iran to reach us. But in terms of the new Foreign Secretary, Yvette Cooper, we as a family invited her to sit down, obviously in light of today's court hearing, and there's been progress made because she's agreed to meet us on the 16th of October, which is a good start for the new Foreign Secretary in our eyes anyway.
Are you concerned about the new round of sanctions announced by the UN on Iran in terms of diplomacy efforts?
I think what we've always tried to do and what we've been told how that works is it's very much in siloed. We don't want to be drawn into the sanctions side of things. What we do want to make sure is that negotiations are going on for their release, and how that looks, is behind closed doors, unfortunately. But yeah, it does cause concern naturally, but hopefully we can keep the issues separate.